We are coming to you from beautiful PNC Park in Pittsburgh, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Avi Garcia, Melky Cabrera and the Sox. As they get set to butt heads with Andrew McCutcheon and Clint Hurdle's Pittsburgh Pirates. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this brief two-game set and the finale of this five-game road trip. As you know, we started off with 3 in St. Pete, where we lost all 3. Then last night, we just got our butts spanked. We lost it 11-0. Carlos Rodon was out there. We just couldn't do anything with those first 2 hitters.
Well, unfortunately, they got on early and they got on often, and Josh Harrison led the parade. He was on base 5 times last night, and he was all everything. He got 4 hits, he scored 3 runs, he stole a couple of bases, and so if you don't control the leadoff man, you're probably going to be in big trouble, and that's exactly what happened last night. Then right behind him, Starling Marte, who was one of the better young players around, just lined the ball all over. Took it right back up the middle, drove in a couple of runs. And together, these guys were not exactly a two-man gang, but pretty close to it, as Marte drives it down the line. And Harrison scores. We saw a whole lot of that last night and can't afford to see much of it more tonight.
Well, we've got a guy on the mound tonight who's been Mr. Consistency. Outside of Chris Sale, he's been our most consistent pitcher by far. Last time out, he beat Houston. And, of course, that's Jose Quintana.
Jose Quintana's done a pretty good job, and last time out he was especially good, and he's had to be because historically this team doesn't score him a whole lot of runs. But he goes to the mound, and a beautiful night to pitch here in Pittsburgh. And last time out against Houston, he threw a lot of high fastballs, kept them up and out of the zone, and had a lot of those Astros swinging through them. So he was absolutely brilliant in 7 innings, and Charlie Morton goes to the mound, and he's 4-0 this year. Now, this was a guy that had hip surgery during the wintertime and didn't start off in good shape. In fact, he was on the disabled list. Since coming back, the sinker-slider specialist has been awfully good. And we'll take a look at the last time out for both of these guys and show you exactly what happened. For Quintana, he beat Houston going 7 innings. Gave up only 1 earned run. In case of Charlie Morton, he beat Milwaukee 7 1/3. Didn't give up any runs, earned or unearned. So we'll see what happens tonight with Morton. We do know one thing. We've got to keep him off the board early, and if we do that, we should be okay.
All right. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to PNC Park. It's a beautiful night for baseball, and let's take a look at how Robin's going to line up our Sox for the game this evening. Adam Eaton leading it off, then Alexei Ramirez in the 2 spot with Jose Abreu playing first, hitting third, Melky Cabrera in the cleanup spot. Then it's Avi Garcia, Connor Gillespie, Giovanni Soto, Carlos Sanchez, and Jose Quintana rounding it out. The defense and how they're going to line up behind Charlie Morton. It's Marte, McCutchen, and Harrison in the outfield with Young, Mercer, Walker, and Rodriguez in the infield. Francisco Cervelli, who's caught 4 straight shutouts behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Charlie Morton. On for his 5th start. He's 4-0 with ERA just over 2. He's a sinker slider pitcher. He doesn't throw overly hard. It'll be in the low 90s, but everything he throws moves. The umpires for the game this evening: Bruce Dreckman behind the plate, Alfonso Marquez is at first, Dan Bellino at second, and the crew chief Tom Hallion is at third. So we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you, and once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball. And the first pitch of the ball game to Adam is taken for a strike. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Adam comes in hitting in .241. He was 0 for 3 last night. Of course, everybody was almost 0 for something.
Francisco Liriano was awfully tough last night.
Well, we had 2 hits. Infield single by Alexei and a single up the middle by Cabrera. Melky. Yeah, he did not hang a breaking ball. Everything was down. And what a job by Cervelli, the catcher. Two and 2 the count. Sox come in hitting at .241 as a club with a 4.25 ERA. And the count goes full. What a beautiful, beautiful sight. Overlooking the Allegheny River. Skyline of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And there is the leadoff walk. Good at bat for Eaton. And right now, let's check out our picks to click. Tonight, Demand you are directing the crew. They went with Alexei. Steve's going with Gillespie. And David Novak and all the great folks at Boogie Hyundai out of Diners Grove and we're going to go with Melky Cabrera. Alexei hitting at .237. A couple of homers he's driven in 24. Decent lead by Adam. And here at the ballpark, 325 down the left field line, 320 down the right field line, 383 in left center, 399 in dead away center, 375 in right center, and they have one little spot out there, one little niche, 410 in deep left center.
Morton came out of the Braves organization. He came in a multiplayer deal. Nate McLouth, the big prize for the Braves as he went over after a couple of very good years here in Pittsburgh.
Pretty good lead. Long set. Outfield straight up, spread out a little bit, about equidistant.
You see bright sunshine in center field and now in left field, affecting Marte and McCutchen.
Here's a strike him out. No, I thought it was a strike him out, but it's not. Stolen base. That's his 4th stolen base in 7 attempts.
Cervelli could not get the throw off. So Adam in scoring position.
That breaking ball, well inside.
That one looked like he got a piece of Bruce Dreckman. And now they're going to ask him if he's okay. Probably got a little more than a piece. There's that slider. Spinning Alexei out of the box. And catching Dreckman.
Got it right on the edge, the inside of the forearm. So he says he's okay. Now Alexei with a 2-1 count has got to try to move him over. Two and two.
That time it looked like he was trying to get out ahead of it and pull it into that hole on the left side. They got Mercer shadowing Eaton. Now with 2 strikes, he just trying to make some contact.
Full count.
Gordon was having all kinds of problems with his control in spring training. That's one of the reasons why they disabled him when the season started, but now he's back. He was throwing strikes, but he's lost the release point here in the first inning.
And that's going foul. He's a big guy, 6'5", 235 pounds, out of Bradenton, Florida. Four and 0 with a 2.05. Pirates on a 5-game winning streak. And another foul.
Ray Searage, who's a fine pitching coach for these Pirates, finally convinced Morton to take a little something off his slider. Said you can throw a hard slider, that's fine, but you got to have something to keep the hitters out front. So he had him throw a little bit slower slider.
They're going to go to third base. They get it.
I don't think he had him on the first swipe, but Adam overslid the bag, and I think they got him on the second one as Gunn held the ball on him and alertly kept it there. Now he hasn't tagged him yet, but right here he does get the hand coming back to the bag as he overslid third.
Well, we just can't do anything right. It's just that simple. Like I say, couldn't get him over. And he overslides the bag. So, one out. And now we have a runner at first. Pretty good pitch, did not get it. What a trip it's been.
Not too entertaining to this
Well,
point.
if you missed the trip, if you missed the games down in St. Pete, we absolutely gift wrapped the first 2 games for them. We gave them 3 runs. If you did not see that game, we gave them 3 runs in the first game, 3 gift runs, and they beat us 7-5. Game 2, we gave them 2 gift runs, and they beat us 5-4. At the end of the second game, we get the third game, we just got beat 2-1. That was just baseball there. Good sale with 12 strikeouts to a 2-run homer. But we couldn't do any scoring.
Lexi, the best base stealer on his team, running at 80% efficiency.
Outfield straight up. And there's a base hit. So we have run ourselves out of a run so far.
Jose takes it right back up the middle. Mercer on the dive, but can't catch up to it. Still 2 on, and so far Morton has not hit his spots. This is a good time to take advantage of him because his control is not there.
Here's Melky. Hitting a .241 with a homer and 21 driven in. Certainly we want to congratulate Rocky Wirtz, Tom McDonough, Coach Q, and the world champion, Stanley Cup winner, Chicago Blackhawks, for the 3rd time in 6 years.
What a game last night. What a job by Corey Crawford.
Well, Corey Crawford, we talked about Duncan Keith, all the guys. Crawford was just phenomenal. That pitch is outside. Blackhawks are a fun team to watch. Maybe the most exciting team in all of sports. As that ball hit into center field, Cutchin is there. And that's out number 2. That'll bring up Garcia, Bobby. 0 for 3 last night, hitting at .287, homers and 25 knocked in. In fact, Blackhawks to me are the poster child for TWTW, the will to win. They have it. And certainly our congratulations go out to Tampa Bay, too. That's a good hockey club, and they're going to be good for a few years. Bobby, he's never faced Morton.
One of the things he's going to notice is that Morton would prefer to keep the ball in on his hands as far as his fastball is concerned.
Breaking ball. That pitch away. So the count evens at 1.
Cervelli has caught 42 straight scoreless innings. And that's an all-time Pirate record. He eclipsed Manny Sanguillen, who had 38 of them.
Walker has it, flips it over to Mercer, and that retire the side, but we cost ourselves a run, and after having a play, sorry guys, nothing, and their guys coming back.
tonight. It's Harrison, Marte, and McCutchen at the top, with Gunn, Cervelli, and Mercer in the middle, followed by Walker, who didn't play last night, along with Rodriguez and Morton rounding it out. The defense, and now the lineup behind Jose Quintana left to right. It's Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia in the outfield, with Gillespie, Ramirez, Sanchez, and Abreu in the infield. Gio Soto is behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana, coming off a victory against the Houston Astros. He's 3-6 this year with an ERA and even 4. Does keep the ball in the ballpark, and left-handers don't do much with it.
Josh Harrison, the right fielder tonight. He was at second base last evening. He's more or less an all-purpose player, and he's finished 9th in MVP voting last season. Hitting at 280, 4 homers, 21 knocked in. Takes first pitch strike.
Last night,
hitting at 257 as a club with a 2.79 team ERA, a 2.79 ERA.
Starting pitching especially has been overwhelming.
That should be Count Corn letting the sun. 1 out.
Last night, 1-2 in the batting order. We're on 9 times with Harrison and Marte. Tough to control the scoring if you allow that to happen. At least Harrison is retired for the first time in the series.
The first 2 guys score 5 runs. You get a chance to have a
bad night.
Game. Yeah. The first 3 score 7 times. And the first 4 scored 9 times. There's the strike to Marte. Sterling hitting at 284, 12 homers, 45 knocked in.
He's on a hot streak. 4 straight games with 3 hits or more.
Have a very, very young group of talented, very talented players, especially in the outfield.
And most of these guys have come out of the Pirate system. They went through 20 straight sub 500 seasons.
Here you go. 2 down. Well, go through 20 straight, you're going to have some nice draft chances.
You are, and it took them a while, but they finally put together a very good foundation for this team where you can go out and acquire a free agent every now and then and do a pretty good job of it. And the last couple of years, they've been a good team.
They've actually been a very competitive team since Clint Hurdle got here. He turned the culture of this ball club around.
Here's a look at Clint that had a managerial stint with the Colorado Rockies.
He's one of those managers that you put in the good category because he just wants to get his guys playing, get them on a little bit of a roll, and then get the heck out of the way and let them play. McCutchen out of Lakeland, Florida, hitting at 288, 8 homers and 40 knocked in. Two and 2.
Last 2 years, these Pirates have finished second in the Central. And that's where they find themselves entering play tonight, with the Cardinals already beating Minnesota.
They've had some pretty good scouting. Marte was signed as a non-drafted free agent back in 07.
Last 3 years at least, Marte has been getting better every year.
Catcher whips that one into the hole. He is 3 for 5 in stolen bases.
Menard's pitch tracks will show you that that was a fastball. He tried to get in on his hands. Cutchin wouldn't let him in there.
Here's Gong. Jung Ho Gong. Last year with Nexon in Korea. Hit .356, 40 homers, and drove in 117. He was 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs last night. It was a pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Outfield playing him straight away. Infield playing him as a dead pull hitter. Not a lot of room between Gillespie and Ramirez on the left side.
Takes that strike. 1-1 the count.
When this game ends, we'll get on our charter, head back to Chicago, and the Pirates will get on theirs and head to Chicago as we continue a 4-game series. 2 away, 2 home.
We have a brief 5-game homestand.
And Texas will come in after these Buccos. So it's not going to get any easier as the Rangers are starting to put it all together.
One and two the count. Well, this, in my lifetime, in all my time in the big leagues, I've never seen such parity. We are slowly becoming the biggest surprise in Major League Baseball.
For what we lack in performance?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2 on 2 out.
This ball taken up the middle. And no chance on that one. That sends Soto out to the mound to talk with his young left-hander. Hope that Quintana can shut the door here. But Cervelli has been a terrific offensive player. That's been the surprising thing.
Well, you throw him first ball fastball, and he's going to be all over it. If it's in a decent spot.
You got that fastball, but slice it off to the right. Billy pretty much was a backup catcher his entire career with the Yankees. Now getting an opportunity to be the primary catcher, although Chris Stewart, his counterpart, has done a great job.
Well, Liriano was talking this morning, or last night I should say, it was printed this morning about just how much confidence he has in Cervelli because of all the pitches he throws in the dirt. He very seldom got one above thigh high last night. He was just dominating. And when you have confidence in a catcher like that, that certainly just absolutely boosts your ability to beat somebody.
And Cervelli said that he loves to face Liriano because it's a constant challenge. He realizes he's going to get probably more than 50% of the pitches in the dirt.
And unfortunately, our guys were chasing about 50% of that 50%.
Exactly what happened. As so often happens, the lineup very rarely will take a walk. And unfortunately, a lot of strikeouts last night. In fact, 40 strikeouts in the last 4 games.
Gap out there in right center. That's where he hit his triple last evening.
The appeal, and Alfonso Marquez says nope, he did not swing.
And the count 3-1. He always played well against us when he was in that Yankee uniform, but if you'd have told me he's going to be hitting 5th in a contending ball club's lineup, I'd have said, And that's foul.
Now the added advantage of the runners running. It's almost impossible to throw out McCutchen on a base hit. The Avi in right field is very shallow.
So he got the first 2, then 2 singles, and a walk loads him up.
And that's going to bring Don Cooper out for a very early visit. He wants to make sure that this one does not get out of hand early, as the one last night with the 5 spot on the board in the first inning with 5 hits. Ritzer hasn't been a big run producer. He's driven in only 12. However, he does have some surprising power.
Fans are into it. At 24,536 last night. They're averaging 26,837.
They're averaging about 1,000 more a game, and each and every year of the last 3 years, attendance has gone up. So they're trying and are succeeding to recapture this crowd.
Well, they're a fun club to watch. So here's Jordy Mercer.
Big speed at third, not so much at second and first.
One and one to count. Mercer hitting at 227. A couple of homers. He's driven in 12. He was 2 for 5 last night. Mercer last year with 12 homers and drove in 55. That's in the right field. That's chemical. So he pitches out of it. They stand 3. And after 1, no score. using the hashtag White Sox Talk, and make sure to follow us on Twitter at CSN White Sox.
You've seen a lot of Sox fans. Not too many with the fire helmet, but we've seen a lot of them.
Gillespie, Soto, Sanchez. There are a lot of them at the hotel, and there are also a lot of them downtown walking around, we saw.
Gordon had a tough first inning. Used a whole lot of pitches, 24 of them to be exact, but did get out without giving up any runs.
And if you're just tuning in, did not see the first inning, we ran ourselves out of a run. Got a man in the second, nobody out. Lexi could not get him over. And a little chopper out in front of the mound. Adam went in the third, got there, overslid the bag. They tagged him out. And then Abreu, well, he got a base hit.
Pirate defense is playing Connor as a dead pull hitter. They've got the shift on. Surprisingly, nobody back on the outfield grass.
One out.
Sox fans, come out for specialty beer night on Thursday, June 18th. Sample up to 16 different beers and ciders with this $42 ticket package, which includes access to the tasting from 5:40 to 7:30. It also includes a lower box game ticket. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/specialty.
First pitch strike to Gio. Soto hitting at 214, 3 homers. He's driven in 10.
And they've got a similar shift to Connor Gillespie, only they got 3 guys on the left side of the infield.
Two down.
Well, unlike some of the real hard throwers who you have to make them get the ball down, with Morton you have to make him get the ball up. Because left to his own devices, he's going to throw a lot of ground balls because he's a sinker slider specialist. Now that he's changing speeds on the slider, he's become a little tougher.
Here's Carlos. 0 for 2 last evening.
That one almost got a piece of him. Able to spin away.
Slider strike. Another one, and that's tough foul.
That one is bigger breaking slider. It really acts for all intents and purposes like a curveball.
Slurve.
He calls it a slider. However.
Comebacker. That didn't take long. A 1-2-3 inning. Inning and a half still. No score.
light.
We're at the bottom of the second inning with no score here at the finale of this 2-game set and the finale of this 5-game road trip. Montana, who threw 25 pitches in the first inning, got the first 2 guys out. Singles by Cutchin, Gump, Walter Savelli, and then Jordy Mercer flied out to right field to end the bottom of the first.
You don't usually see Walker from the right side. He's much better as a left-hand hitter. All 4 of his home runs and 22 of his 23 runs batted in have come as a left-hand hitter. But he'll be looking out at Jose from the right side.
Last year he had 271, 23 homers, and knocked in 76.
And Walker is one of their most popular players.
Takes first pitch strike. None of these guys have ever faced Quintana except Sean Rodriguez, the on-deck hitter. He's only faced him once. One and one to count. Got some finals for you. Boston beat Atlanta 9-4 at Fenway. Had him off balance out in front. Giants at home against Seattle. San Francisco won it 6-2. Oakland down at Petco in San Diego beat the Padres 6-5. Pat Murphy, new skipper. That longtime college coach. ASU, also Notre Dame. Houston beat the Rockies 8-5 down at the juice box. He gone. One out.
Pretty decent pitch. Walker did not like the call, but he had a part of the zone. You see our Menard's pitch tracks. Watch where 5 appears. Just a piece to the corner, and Gio does a nice job of easing it back in the zone.
So here's Rodriguez, 0 for 4 last evening. Takes first pitch strike. Big hack and a foul tip. Just off the corner.
Jose wanted that one, but it missed by an eyelash outside.
There you go. 2 down.
It's a high strike. Wasn't one of his better sliders, but he got it by Rodriguez.
Charlie Morton, the pitcher, takes first pitch strike. Charlie has been to the plate 6 times this year, and he's 0 for 6. He's 1 for 7.
There's Nick Leyva, first base coach, longtime baseball scout, coach, and a number of other things. Morton keeps the inning alive. Took that fastball away. Went right with it. And it's the third hit of Jose.
So here's Harrison, the right fielder, the leadoff hitter. Went out to Melky Cabrera. Big ball one. And that's a foul ball.
And a good job of getting to it and making sure that it stayed foul, because you're not going to get Harrison on that play. Harrison sniffing a base hit. And Jose comes over and makes sure he touches it before he can spin back into the field of play.
Down ball over to second, and that'll retire the side. So in his 100th start of his career, Quintana, there's no score here after two.
Father-Daughter Day. On this special day, all fathers and their daughters are invited to enjoy a day at the ballpark with an opportunity to participate in a pregame parade. To purchase specially priced tickets, visit whitesox.com/Dan.
Jose Quintana will lead it off for us. He's been to the plate twice this year. 0 for 2, takes first pitch strike. That one just off the plate. Jose is pretty elite company. In fact, he leads these elitists and active interleague leaders with ERA. You got the top 5 as he gets him for 1 out. Top 5 active interleague ERA leaders. Jose Quintana is number 1 at 2.29. We talked about how consistent he has been. With the exception of Chris Sale, he's been our most consistent starter. Clayton Kershaw is second, 2.55. Doug Fister, 2.58. Johnny Cueto, 2.63. And Felix Hernandez at 2.65. So that young man has done his job. Meanwhile, he leads everybody in baseball with the most no decisions. He's had 48 no decisions. That's since 2012. Check that, 42 no decisions. James Shields has had 38. Mike Leake, 38. Kyle Lose, 37. Matt Latos, 36. Zach Greinke, 36. And Tel Samardzija, 36. So they'll tell you he's been the most unlucky. There's a shot by Adam. Harrison quickly will get it back in.
Heads up play by Walker as he went behind Eaton and just missed getting him at first. This ball was hit hard, and it was to the left of Harrison, who's an infielder by trade but can play all outfield positions. And Adam was thinking about testing his arm, but when he got to it flawlessly and got it back in, they went behind him and just missed him at first.
So here's Alexei. In the first inning, Adam led it off with a walk, stole second. Alexei could not get him over. Finally, a couple of strikes on it. He hit a little number out in front of the plate. Adam tried to get into third. He got there, overslid the bag. They tagged him out. And there he goes again. Pick up the ball. McCutcheon's got it. And he just does get back in.
I'm not sure why he waited quite that long. McCutcheon doesn't have the greatest arm around, but he's pretty accurate with it. Last year, McCutcheon only had 1 assist. This year, he's had 2 assists and just missed getting his third. This throw right on the money. And he just barely gets back. Almost tripping over the bag.
And almost hurting his ankle. So here's Abreu. He singled back through the middle, which would have scored Adam. Trying to make something happen. Somebody's going to have to make something happen to break this malaise that we have been in.
Despite throwing a whole lot of sinkers, Gordon has thrown a home run this year.
Want to know the count to Abreu?
That's including that stolen base in the first inning.
To Hopper. And that'll do it. After 2.5, still goose eggs. Show. CSN's David Kaplan teams with Chicago Tribune writer David Hall to deliver the best 1-2 punch in sports talk. Now, the Kaplan Hall Show weekdays at 9 a.m. on Comcast Sports Network. Sterling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Jung Ho Kwon. Marte struck out his first trip. One of 3 registered by Quintana.
Not surprising because Marte, against lefties this year, has a slugging percentage of .811 coming into this game. That ranks him 3rd in all of baseball. 205 guys registering enough at-bats and they're counted in that. So Marte just keeps getting better and better, and especially against left-handers, he's awfully tough.
That'll bring up McCutchen, who ripped the single in the hole between third and short. Marte, 11 for 15 in stolen bases.
McCutchen's only grounded into 2 double plays this year.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. Two and 0 the count. Outfield, straight up. And the count 3-0.
This Pirate team has been pretty aggressive this year overall. 48 steals of McCutchen 15 times. And as a team, they've hit 50 home runs. Not a particularly high total at this point.
There's one.
That's a good time to use a good move at first base. You might catch Marte leaning the wrong way.
There he goes. And he's safe. And a full count.
He was going on first move, and that's stolen base number 12. 3-1 count. Great count to run, especially if you have confidence that your hitter will make some contact.
Now Sanchez better try to make a little move of some sort, a little hold him close. He does not have a big lead. And there's a base hit. I'm going to wave him around.
Well, there wasn't much of a shot at getting him, and unfortunately the trailer goes to second base. You got a speed runner, and Marte is just that. Your odds of throwing out are slim. himself out of a double play situation by throwing through. This is some good hitting because this is a slider down and out of the strike zone. There's a lot of guys that would have just taken the walk. Not so for McCutchen. Drives in his 41st run of the year, and then not a particularly good throw to follow it up.
So here's Gone. He singled on a fairly slow hit ground ball up the middle, just out of the reach of Alexa.
Now Gio goes out there to have a word, and he also is calling in Sanchez and Ramirez. Pretty simple. If you're going to pitch him inside, especially with cutters inside, then you want Ramirez to hold his position, and you want Sanchez to hold the Cutchen close. You're going to go away with fastballs, just the opposite.
One and one to count. 28-year-old infielder. Not even making an effort.
No, he's not thinking about hitting to the right side.
To get McCutchen over to third base. But sometimes you don't know. That's just simple doing the math. Sometimes some managers, especially with their cleanup hitter, the third hitter, the fifth hitter, the man on second, nobody out, they'll tell them, hey, you just hit. As you look at the skipper, Clint Hurley. Holds the runner now over to first. Low throw again. So not a good at bat at all from Go. If in fact Hurdle did not tell him to do that. So here's Savelli. He walked to load the bases back in the first inning.
There you look at some pretty impressive numbers. On base percentage of .405. Don't find many catchers with those kind of numbers. They realized losing Russell Martin, they lost a guy who handled the staff well. They were very concerned about the offense he provided. And when they brought in Cervelli, they were pleasantly surprised with his offense, but he handles the staff exceptionally well.
Two balls, no strikes. Outfield for the most part straight up. Gillespie backing off the line at third. And he grabs the strike.
Took a little something off that breaking ball and dropped it right over the plate.
gets back even at 2-2. Both teams will be heading back probably after this game. Continue this 4-game set. And tomorrow night it'll be Johnny Danks against Jeff Locke, Southpaw. Can't make it to the ballpark. That game will be over Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Then on Thursday, Jeff Samardzija against Garrett Cole. Samardzija 4-4. Cole 10-2 with a 1.71 ERA.
Cole's got a bona fide shot at winning the Cy Young Award this year. They haven't had one of those since Doug Drabek back in the early 90s.
Good job by Gio to keep it in front. That Thursday game will be over WGN if you can't make it to the ballpark.
Cole, a #1 pick out of UCLA.
Payoff pitch. Right back, he'll hold the runner, go to first. 2 out.
Sox fans, the first 20,000 fans on Saturday, June 20th, will receive a White Sox baseball cap presented by the Private Bank. Private Bank, we solve for X. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/promos.
In that Boston 9-4 victory over Atlanta, Brock Holt hit for the cycle. There's a strike. Boston had lost 7 in a row. So Dustin Pedroia set this game out. Holt played second base. Pretty fortuitous insertion into that lineup. Take one of your best hitters out, and the guy you put in hits with a cycle. So the Red Sox break that 7-game losing streak. 1-2 the count.
That was a good hard breaking slider in the dirt. And Mercer, well out in front of it, expanded the zone and came up empty.
High and wide. San Francisco have been playing some awesome baseball for the last month. They've lost 5 in a row coming into the day. He gone, but they get on the board. Marte a single, stolen base, RBI single by McCutchen, and they lead it 1-0.
specially priced tickets and show off your Husky pride as the Sox take on the Pirates. Northern Illinois University, your future, our network. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/NIU.
Cabrera, Garcia, and Gillespie. As there's first pitch strike to Melky, who went out to McCutchen in center field. We got beat 2-1 in the finale of that series down in St. Pete. Got shut out 11-0 last night. That ball hit hard. It's going to hang up for McCutchen. Another hang whooping for Cabrera. Amazing.
Hit the ball hard twice and has nothing to show for it but 0 for 2.
Here's Avi. Hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice to end the first inning. We mentioned San Francisco had lost 5 in a row coming into the day. They beat Seattle 6-2. Lincecum 7-3. Resurgence by the former hard throwing right-hander.
San Francisco also lost 9 in a row at home. Their all-time record 11. They're not going to see that. That was back when they were still in New York.
Softly hit up the middle. Mercer.
Mercer doesn't have a great arm. He doesn't have the great range you'd associate with some of the better shortstops. However, he just makes all the plays. And that dependability is one of the things that Clint Hurdle really likes about him.
That's all the manager wants from his infielders. Just make the plays you're supposed to make. That's all. You don't have to be any stunning, brilliant, spectacular. Just make the plays that you're supposed to make.
And every shot you have at a double play, turn it.
Connor struck out. Morton took a little something off the slider. Down and in and punched him out. 0-2 the count. Pirates on a 5-game winning streak. Prior to last night, they had won 4 in a row. And they'd only scored 8 runs in those 4 games.
Last night for them was a rarity because they haven't been pushing across a whole lot of runs, but they've been getting not good, but spectacular starting pitching 2 times through the rotation.
Well, they've had 7 shutouts. That's softly hit. And a 1-2-3 inning. 3.5. It's 1-0 Buccos.
Take a look at his rankings. First in wins, first in ERA, and 6th in strikeouts. We're going to see him on Thursday. He's had a remarkable year. He's a hard-throwing right-hander with terrific stuff.
It'll be Walker, Rodriguez, and Morton to face our Jose Quintana. Run on 5 hits for them. No runs on 3 hits for us. Out and around it. Walker struck out, called out his first trip. Softly hit, take your time. 1 out. Rodriguez also struck out back in the 2nd inning.
Rodriguez playing first base for the 2nd game in a row. Last year played all 7 positions in the field. One thing he didn't do was pitch and catch. So for Clint Hurdle, he can put him anywhere, and he gives him a really strong defensive performance.
Won the count. That ball hit me.
That's the 3rd home run of the year for Rodriguez. His 5th driven in. For Jose, just the 5th home run he's given up. Our 4th home run replay, and this is a rolling breaking ball that stays over the middle of the plate. And there's no cheap home runs to left center field in this ballpark. That ball was hit hard.
Here's Charlie Morton. He had a base hit between 1st and 2nd. Takes first pitch strike. Charlie was also a singer, songwriter, and he plays the guitar. Makes a catch for out number 2.
Or hit that ball pretty hard.
All right, let's go back to the top of the order with Josh Harrison, who's going out to left, entering into a 6-4 fielder's choice.
We saw Harrison last night going out of the strike zone, not over swinging, hitting the ball exactly where it was pitched. That's one of the reasons why he is so valuable. Clint Hurdle, another guy that gives him great versatility wherever you play him.
Well, when you're carrying a 12-man pitching staff, you got to have a couple of guys who are versatile, like Harrison and Rodriguez.
We've seen a lot of teams with 13-man pitching staffs. That really ties a manager's hands. base stealer gets hit. They're trying to steal a bag. That one got him just right next to the 5. He had 2 stolen bases in last night's game.
Here's Marte, a strikeout, a single, a stolen base, and a run scored.
Time now for the AT&T U-verse multi-view. Take a shot of Harrison's lead at first, and a center field shot of one of the better young players around, Starling Marte.
Just a decent lead. Tries to check it up, fouls it back. Out, no.
Marte's not going to walk very much. He swings at a lot of pitches out of the zone. He has just 14 walks this year and 238 at bats.
They still get him. Double clutch right there. Meanwhile, he gone. But the homer by Rodriguez will go to the 5th, trailing 2-0.
WTC Communications in Wilton, Iowa.
We trail it 2-0. It'll be Soto, Sanchez, and Quintana. Lower third of our order as there is first pitch strike to Gio, who grounded out to Mercer at shortstop. They got a shift on him.
Try to go to right field. There's plenty of room to hit it there with only Rodriguez patrolling all of the ground between first and second.
Breaking ball, no. Slowly hit. Gone.
White Sox fans, show your Sox pride when you open a new White Sox checking account and debit card with your local Wintrust Community Bank. Wintrust is a proud supporter of Chicago White Sox charities and will donate $25 for every account opened this season. Visit wintrust.com/youdecide for details.
Here's Carlos. Did a little comebacker to Morton. That's softly hit. Walker.
9 ground balls in 4 2/3 innings. Couple that with a couple of strikeouts, and most of this game has been played in the infield.
Well, only 3 balls in the air. Melky Cabrera's hit 2 hard. Alexei hit 1 softly in the center. The rest, a couple of strikeouts and ground balls. Jose struck out his only at bat.
That's one of the things they told Charlie Morton in spring training, where he had all kinds of problems getting the ball over the plate. They said your ball moves so much. Look at the middle. Let the ball do the work because you have as much movement as anybody on this staff.
That is 8 in a row retired by Morton. We're halfway home. We trail it 2-0. you don't hit, your whole club looks bad. You can pitch bad and your club still does not look real bad. But when you don't hit, your club looks lethargic. They look bad, and everything is magnified. And that's where we have been through the first 4.5 games on this road trip after coming off that 3-game sweep against the Astros.
Now it's time for the toughest part of their order. Zay McCutchen and Gunning.
Marte was at the plate when Harrison was caught stealing.
That was a delayed steal. It didn't seem to work particularly well.
Well, if it was, he better go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, it wasn't a good plan, I don't think.
Well, Gia had to wait because he was waiting for Sanchez to get over there down to second base.
Marte splinters the end of his bat. Pretty good fastball. Villa wanted it upstairs, because they got it there. They couldn't get much on it.
The 0-2. Two and two.
Gillespie is over close to the line and deep at third base. He'll come into play on a soft breaking ball, normally left side of the infield. With a left-hander on the mound, he's going to get a lot of work if he throws a lot of off-speed sliders. That time from a fastball, it was out of the strike zone. Marte with good coverage picks up his second hit. Our Honda pitch tracks, you'll see where this one appears. It's not a strike. But for Marte, it was good enough.
He's 6 for 8 so far in this series, and when you're a hot streak like he is, it's hard for a lot of people to realize, but when you're in a hot streak like he is, hitting the baseball is not very hard. And you don't get many of those hot streaks like that. Unless you're a great hitter, then those guys' slumps last shorter, which gives them the opportunity to get in those hot streaks. McCutchen, 2 for 2 with an RBI. Outfield straight up. Bunched just a bit for Andrew.
McCutchen was hitting in the low 100s when the season started. A good portion of April, it was a terribly slow start for him. But the fact that he's knocking at the door of 300 shows you how hot he's been.
All right. Rack him up. 2 down.
It's only the third double play that McCutchen has grounded into this year, and this was a very snappy 6-4-3.
Sanchez is getting to the point now he can turn him with the best of them at second base. We could not say that last year. This year we can say that. He's just getting better and better at that. So here's Gum. He's 1 for 2. Sox get in the wee hours of the morning, as do the Pirates. There's a strike.
So Gio pounding the dirt. He wanted that slider in the dirt. He got it there. But Young wouldn't expand his zone that much.
Hard hit right to him, and that'll retire the side. We're into the 6th. It might behoove us to score a few points. We have 2 hits. We've had 3 base runners.
And Adams been on base twice. Thinking about punting. Morton was thinking about taking his legs out.
Adam walked and then hit a hard single into right field. A lot of movement on that. Starts it off at his hip, and all of a sudden, poof, comes back. And that ball hit hard but foul. So the count 1-2. Yeah. No runs on 2 hits. They have 2 runs on 7 hits. And that's shanked foul.
That was a nice play.
Walker, 1 out.
Sox fans, celebrate a special birthday, anniversary, or host a business function in a Diamond Suite at the White Sox game. Diamond Suites can accommodate 10 to 100 guests. Single game packages include a great food menu as well as beverages and parking passes. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/group.
Here's Alexa. Slider strike. More like a slurve. Mike McDougal, when he first came up with Kansas City, had his just about as good as right-handed stuff as anybody in the league. Couldn't throw strikes with it because it moved so much, but he had what he called a slider that was one of the best curveballs in the league.
And a real strange motion.
I always felt sorry for him to have that much talent, have the ball move that much, and just could not throw strikes. When he did, you had no chance. That ball hit well into right field, but they got a man there. 2 down. Bryce Harper is home. Just 20 seconds. Washington shutting out Tampa Bay 7-0. Here's Abreu, 1 for 2. Lays off that one. Top of the 6th in Detroit. Cincinnati and the Tigers are tied at 2. Cabrera's driven in a run. He has 48 RBIs. Cespedes has driven in a run. He has 35. Yanks that one foul.
And Victor Martinez is pretty close to coming back. When they get him back, that lineup, which is formidable anyway, is going to get a whole lot more formidable.
Well, when he comes back, that stock, Tiger stock, goes up more than just a couple of points. That ball hit high and deep into right field, but take back down in front of the track. And that will retire the sign. That is 11 in a row retired by Charlie Morton.
White Sox baseball camps are open to boys and girls ages 5 to 12 and will be in over 50 communities. Every camper gets an exclusive tour of U.S. Cellular Field to meet a current White Sox player and coach. Call 630-PLAY-BALL or visit BullsSoxAcademy.com to find a camp near you.
That's the story as you check out our Comcast Sportsnet tail of the tape. Here's Savelli, Mercer, and Walker. Boy, when you're swinging the bats the way we are, not scoring any runs, those pitchers have a ton of pressure.
Can't make a mistake.
Plus, when you're playing defense like we have played, that plate gets awful small. It's been a bad trip, needless to say. Wow. It's been ugly. And that ball hit him. That's what happens. You try to make too good a pitch and fall behind the count 2-0.
That's only the second extra base hit Savelli has had in his last 54 at-bats, so he doesn't get him often. He did hit a triple last night, and now his second home run of the year, a Ford home run replay, and the second Jose has given up tonight. He fell behind. They threw him a fastball, middle, in, and down, and Savelli took it out.
Mercer has gone out to right and struck out. And that's into left field. Hit hard, but one out. That's not scoring any runs. We're just not having a whole lot of good at bats. That's what's disturbing. So here's Walker, a strikeout, and then hit a little soft comebacker to Quintana. First pitch strike. "23 homers last year. Has 4 this year, all coming from the left side. He gone. 2 down.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it came the last time Rodriguez was up in the 4th inning. He had a rolling breaking ball, hit it out of the ballpark, his 3rd of the year. That made it 2-0 at the time.
Takes first pitch strike. To the count. Souvenir right side. Outfield straight up.
Alfonso Marquez says he did not swing, so the at-bat stays alive.
Unless we can get some good at-bats going for us, do some damage. We had a chance to be swept in a 5-game road trip for the second time this year. One in Baltimore, then went to Minnesota to that 4-game sweep. It'll be an infield single.
Connor came charging in, and this ball takes an abrupt turn on it.
Charlie Morton's hit the ball pretty well both times. He has a single in the hole between first and second, and back in the 4th inning, hit one fairly hard to right field. Takes first pitch strike. Oh, and 2. Two and 2.
At the 110 pitch mark, Daniel Webb starts to throw in the pen.
Daniel looks like he is starting to get his stuff together. That's into right field, and that's going to be in the seats. Daniel Webb has one of the best arms on the team. If he can get ahead and throw strikes. He gone, but the home run by Francisco Cervelli. We'll go to the 7th, trailing 3-0.
it wherever you are with the MLB.TV Game of the Day, in-game highlights, live bookends, replay previews, radio broadcasts, and more. The app's new features include StatCast tracking videos and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Cabrera, Garcia, and Gillespie to face Charlie Morton, who has retired the last 11 he has seen. Big 6'5" right-hander out of Bradenton, Florida.
And for Cervelli, 48 straight innings caught of scoreless baseball. Pretty remarkable when you consider all the different teams, all the different pitchers, and yet this rotation has been strong.
That'll get down. So Melky, who has hit the ball hard twice, his first 2 times up, coming up empty, starts us off with a base hit. That's just our 3rd hit.
That fastball was up and out over the plate. And a leadoff base runner.
So here's Avi. Avi is hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice and grounded out 6-3. First and 30, Avi. Let's get something going.
That time Cervelli wanted that sinker inside. Morton missed his spot by a good 3 feet. Still very effective.
Well, that's what happens when you're not scoring runs. You get guys, especially young, strong fellas like Avi. They try to do too much. They're just trying to. Can't get him at first base. Down ball to short, but he just, and it's natural in baseball. When a team is not doing well, strong right-handed hitter, strong left-handed hitter, young, for the most part inexperienced, they just expand their strike zones and they just dig the hole a little deeper. Everything is contagious. So here's Gillespie. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out to second. One of the mystifying things is with that club we had last year, and this club this year is so much more talented than last year. It's not even close. Not even close. Last year at the same time of the season, we were, after 62 games, we were 31-31. This year we're 28-34 with a much more talented team.
Certainly much better bullpen.
Everything's better. There's not one thing that's not better about this team than one last year. That's popped up. Mercer. 2 down. Better bullpen, better starters, better players, period. Here's Gio. Grounded to short and grounded to third.
Now they've shifted on him twice, playing him as a dead pull hitter, and twice he hit right into the shift. Still all kinds of room on the right side. See Rodriguez having to hold Garcia close, and there's nobody else home on that right side except Dan Bellino, the umpire.
He doesn't have that much range either.
No, I don't think he can go to his left that well.
There's a strike. Dan's a good umpire with limited range. 2-1. There's a shot base hit. So now that'll bring the tying run to the plate.
He gets a fastball. It's up in the zone. And Marte has the best arm in the outfield. So Ray Searage taking a long, slow walk to the mound.
Ray, a crafty left-hander in his playing days. Good sinker. Good sinker slider. Adam LaRoche is going to pinch hit Sanchez.
Adam, a dead pull hitter in a park that was made for pull hitting left-hand hitters.
They can get it up, Adam.
And the bullpen for the first time tonight up and going.
Two on, two out. Seventh inning stretch. We trail it 3-0.
Daniel Webb. He's on for the 7th time. He does not have an earned run average yet. It's been going pretty well for him. 7 2/3, 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He's going to start with the top of the order. try to hold them right there to 3-run deficit. So the night is over for Jose Quintana. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, a couple of home runs, 9 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit batsman, and 6 strikeouts. Julio Bonifacio comes in the game to play second, as Sanchez departed for Adam LaRoche. And I believe that's going to be it for Charlie Morton. Got pat on the back from his manager. Congratulations from his catcher. It's A.J. Burnett, another one of the starters who's throwing unbelievable baseball, congratulating him.
So here's Harrison. He is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch. And he takes strike 1. 3-0 Pirates. Yanks that one foul.
Tony Watson, pretty good left-hander, loosening up in the pen. If you look at these ERAs, you just shake your head. They're almost non-existent for the Pirates. Watson's ERA is 1.89.
You're carrying a team 279.
That's pretty strong. Pitch tracks will show you that this one is not a strike. It's just inside. He's able to bring his hands in, still get a decent part of the bat on it.
Guys who can hit with short arms got a much better chance of being successful in the major leagues. Extension is one of the worst words a hitter can have and have ingrained in his brain. The more extension you get, the bigger the swing, the bigger the swing, the slower the swing. Marte, 2 for 3. Stolen base and a run scored. Goes to second. Can't turn it. Too much speed, but they get the lead man. So that'll bring up Cutchin, who is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Another good pitch right there by Daniel.
Andrew won the MVP a couple of years ago, could very well have repeated, but didn't get the nod last year despite having a very good year.
Out of Lakeland, Florida. Lakeland always with very, very strong sports programs in high school. Good football teams, good basketball teams. In fact, excellent football teams and good baseball teams.
Marte already has a stolen base tonight, that coming in the third inning. He eventually scored on the base hit by McCutchen.
There he goes. Safe. That's his 13th stolen base.
You see on his right hand that sliding glove that stops him from jamming his right hand into the bag. Alertly, Emilio keeps a tag on him, hoping that he'll overslide the bag, even though he was in before the throw. Good straight line, gets there quickly, and beats the tag easily. The question is, can he hook the bag? And the answer was yes. He was able to keep his hand on it.
That's low. Well, it doesn't do you a whole bunch of good to get there and then come off the bat.
Well, we saw that earlier tonight.
Good boy. Let him freewheel it out there. And one. Jung Ho Gong on deck. That one at 96. Outstanding sports programs they have in the lake. Boy, that really helps you. If you have aspirations of being a Major League Baseball player or an NFL football player, play against that great competition.
There's a nice stop by Gio. Slider in the dirt. But unfortunately, it's ball 4.
So here comes Gone. And Cooper. While they do, we'll check some scores for you. Top of the 4th at Wrigley, 3-0 Cleveland. Top of the 8th in Detroit, 4-2 Cincinnati. Kansas City shutting out Milwaukee. That Miller Park 4-0. That's in the bottom of the 4th inning. The final from St. Louis, Cardinals beat the Twins 3-2. 15-3. Baltimore leading Philadelphia. That's in the 6th inning. 11-0, Marlins leading the Yankees. That's in the 6th. Mets leading Toronto 3-0. That's in the 8th inning. After 6, Tampa Bay 10-1. Nats over the Rays. So here we go with 2 on and 1 out. Gone 1 for 3.
Zach Duke loosening in the pen just in case Clint Hurdle wants to go to his bench and bring off a left-hand hitter. We got Gregory Polanco sitting there.
Bases loaded.
Exactly what he had in mind as that one gets away, gets him on the hip, and then load him up for one of their hottest hitters, Cisco Cervelli.
He has walked, bounced back to the pitcher, then leading off last inning home. Had a 2-0 fastball and didn't miss it. Takes ball 1.
Pretty decent speed at 2nd and 3rd. Not so much at 1st. Here with the bases loaded. as has been this season for Cervelli.
All right, going to come to the plate, get the force. 2 down.
Connor charging and might have had a shot with a slow running catcher stepping at third, throwing to first, but he elected to come home. Now they got to get by Mercer.
Mercer's 0 for 3. Last time up, lined out to Melky in left field. Also has gone out to right and struck out. Goes to second base, and they get the force on a rocket off the bat of Mercer. So Daniel pitches out of it, and we'll go to the 8th. It is still 3-0. Here going to the 8th inning, and the bad thing about it is only one time in the last 3 games that we had 2 consecutive hits.
But tonight, no offense once again. It's been a recurring theme, and unfortunately only singles anyway. So unless we come back against Tony Watson, who's out there now, they've got a pretty good closer in Melanson.
Yeah, in the last 3 games, the only extra base hits we've had have been 2 doubles. So we have to get a little something going, or else it's going to be a long trip home.
There you look at numbers on Tony Watson. At 1-1, his ERA 1.89. Had 1 save opportunity, made the most of it. Just 7 walks and 29 strikeouts in 33 1/3. He gets out right-handers much better than he gets out left-handers. You see by those splits. That's somewhat surprising. I mean, he's got a pretty good change.
But it's not surprising to me. You got a lot of right-handed hitters don't want to face left-handed pitching, especially if they've got a change-up. Watson last year was a member of the National League All-Star team. He also was named winner of the Steve Blass Award, voted by the local baseball writers here in Pittsburgh. As that is ball 1 to Bonifacio. The Steve Blass Award was voted for the top pitcher on the team. There's a strike.
Watson last year was 10-2 with a 1.63 ERA and 78 appearances. So he's durable and he's talented, which is a good combination.
Mercer rounds it off. Very quick release. Good play.
Here's a look at Steve Blass. A special place in the hearts of the Pittsburgh fandom. Wonderful pitcher for them.
He had a really good sinker. I face Steve. I mean, he had one that was a Jim Dandy. You didn't make him get it up, you're going to kill a lot of worms in front of home plate. So here's Adam. He has walked, singled, and grounded out. Well, another thing that Watson did, he attended the University of Nebraska, where he beat out Max Scherzer for a spot on the all-conference team.
Pretty good accomplishment, especially with what happened to Scherzer.
Young, and quickly 2 out. Again, mentioned it earlier in the game. We mentioned it seemingly a ton of times this year, is that when you don't hit, you just look bad, period. You look lethargic, you look dead. And here's Alexei, 0 for 3. And then you combine that with playing bad defense, then it becomes Hughley. Outfield straight up, spread out, about equidistant. Gum, just a couple of steps back of the bag, a couple of steps off the line.
Charlie Morton went 7. Didn't give up any runs. Just 4 singles, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts.
And there's a 2-out start. Only the second walk issued by Pirate pitching tonight. They only walked 1 last night when we only got 2 hits. One an infield single, the other a soft single up the middle by Cabrera last evening off Liriano, who had 12 strikeouts. Scalio came in, finished it off in the 9th, and got 1, so we had 13 strikeouts last evening. Jose has singled, grounded to third, and fly deep to Harrison in right field.
Now Watson's having some problems locating the plate.
Cabrera on deck, and he's swung the bat better than anybody tonight. Watch out. Come on, Jose, keep it going, buddy. Let's give him a finish. Bad enough to get shut out 1 game. You don't want to get shut out 2 in a row. That's a can of corn into right field. So we'll go to the Bottom of the 8th, still trailing 3-0. In 3 nights against these Pirates as Johnny Dennings takes the bump in search of his 4th win. Coverage begins at 6:30 with White Sox pregame line presented by Alexis of Orland and Maryville. That's right here, CSN Plus.
Zach Duke comes into the ball game against a team that brought him to the major leagues, and a team where he was the #1 starter. Now he's working out of the bullpen. There you see the numbers on for the 27th time. He's 2-2, his ERA a touch over 4. He's got to deal with the bottom part of the order.
Neil Walker takes Lorne away. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a soft comebacker to the pitcher. 3-0 Pirates. Up to now on this 5-game road trip, we've scored 10 runs. Only 1 in the last 3 games.
And you can certainly ill afford to give them any more at this point. Wow. Well, that a strike. And there's a big break. As you can see, that ball is way out of the zone.
Clint, look at that face.
I don't think
brother
Clint
could love it.
I don't think Clint can believe that call.
That ball in center field for the out. Sean Rodriguez, he is homered and an infield single. He's 2 for 3. For our guys, Cabrera, Garcia, Gillespie, Soto, the scheduled hitters. There's the strike.
I would say it'll probably be their closer coming into the ball game, Mark Melancon. That hit him on the bounce. So whether it hits you on a bounce or a fly, it still hits you. And you still go to first. And Corey Hart is going to come on to pinch hit.
Former Brewer Corey Hart. Takes outside. 1-0. Big hat. Corey, a two-time All-Star with the Brew Crew.
He had some big years. 31 home runs, drove in 102 in 2010.
He can run a little bit as well. 23 bases in 2008. But he's had some knee problems. Both of them. One out, 1-2 the count.
Decent career numbers. Twice he hit 30 home runs plus.
Boy, there's Lance Johnson's jump right there. Strike him out. Stolen base for Rodriguez. That's his second.
This Pirate team is aggressive, and they've shown it in this series. No chance at all at second base.
That'll bring up Josh Harrison. Now, Clint Hurdle was a very aggressive hitter, very aggressive ball player, and he's a very aggressive manager. Pretty good left-handed hitter. Came up, everybody thought he was going to hit 50 home runs a year.
I think he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Two and 0 the count. Home plate jumping around on Zach Duke. 28,413.
Last year, while Harrison was trying to win an everyday job, which he eventually did, he hit 372 with runners in scoring position. That's a wonderfully high total. In the key situation in the ball game.
Well, he was just a wonderful story last season.
Was that? Nobody believed he could play every day. They thought swingman, spot player at best. It hasn't been the case.
So 2 out, 2 on. And here comes a man who is seeing the ball very well. Starling Marte, who is 2 for 4. With a couple of stolen bases and a run scored.
One base hit here, and he will have gone 5 straight games with at least 3 hits. That is a good streak.
As I mentioned earlier, when you're in that kind of streak, it's just, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want other people talking to you about it, because hitting is pretty easy. You're seeing it that well. As my buddy would say, all your molecules are lined up in order.
Your molecules?
Yeah, that's what he calls them. Your molecules are lined up all in order. On, 2 out, 1 and 2 the count.
Outfield playing him straight away, but the infield playing him as a dead pull hitter on the left side.
Got him. He gone. And we're into the 9th. We need 3 to tie. We trail at 3-0.
Moments, and it is the night of Charlie Morton, who was brilliant through 7. He gave up only 4 singles, walked 1, fanned 3. Had our Sox hitting the ball on the ground all night long.
Song in there somewhere. It's all night long.
And the closer's in, Mark Melancon, who's been awfully good this year. He's 0-1 ERA, a touch over 2. 20 out of 21 in save opportunities. The left-hander's hitting just 146. And that's how he'll look at Melky.
Milwaukee has swung the bat better than anyone tonight. He's 1 for 3. Hit it hard a couple of times. Start us off, Milwaukee. 1-1 to count. That ball hit hard right to the shortstop.
Lanson has a very good over-the-top curveball. Melky was able to square it up and did it right at Mercer. So it's been going all night long. And last night, a lot of ground balls. And these Pirates don't have a real good defense, but they've been a good defensive team in this series.
Well, their defense certainly is not bad in the outfield.
No, it's not.
You being a former pitcher know that when you got an outfield, nothing hits the ground, you're in pretty good shape.
Well, you need one of those here because of the huge spaces in center field, especially with that 4-10 into the Bermuda Triangle in left center.
1-0 pitch. And that's right in. That's a hang with him. 2 down. One out away from the second time this year being swept on a 5-game road trip. Gillespie has struck out, grounded out the second, and popped up the short. First pitch strike.
Pretty amazing for Cervelli behind the plate. With one more out, it'll be 51 straight scoreless innings he's caught. Very good over the top curveball.
Ball game is over. So last night we got no runs on hits. Tonight we get no runs on 4 hits.
All singles, and it was a very tough Pittsburgh, and now they're going to follow us back home to U.S. Cellular Field.
And let's check out our play of the game. This is a 31-year-old right-hander who moves to 5-0. Charlie Morton. Boy, he was good. 7 innings, no run, 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Our player of the game. So, for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer John Walgren, for our associate producer Joe Groot, for our terrific technical manager Mark Harper, and also for a good crew here in Pittsburgh. Dan Wolf, Doug Dean, Scott Leffler, Bill Anderson. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live. Chuck and Bill, you've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sports.